explained that one of the miracles of Golus, we're in Golus, we're second class, and yet we succeed in our exile state even greater than the what? Than our oppressors. And it's clear God hasn't abandoned us. That even in the state of Golus, we're able to succeed. Go to Psukim. Although we're slaves, God did not abandon us in that state. Okay. What a person should take to heart, and he should make this discernment. Haskomas b'nei odom v'schabrus libosam. Imrov hischalkus midosam l'manus alei mishmehem. Says, interesting. He says, despite the great diversity of dispositions among human beings, they reach agreement, consensus, appointing one of their number to rule over them. L'manus alei mishmehem l'kablan v'odosam shomim b'kolo mashu mitzav v'masar osam. And they heed his directive, what he fought v'yireim also, and they revere him. Ushomer osam v'chom aleim. He supervises, watches over them. He has compassion for them. V'don b'tzedek b'neim, and he treats them equitably. Umanhiga mashiyesh lo takonas kulam, and he guides them what's in everyone in a way which is to perfect them, to benefit them. Kadesh yizkalku in yoneim. To protect them, that they shouldn't be vulnerable to the enemy. If each person would be concerned about himself, he says if each person would be fully into his own way of seeing it, there could not be a consensus to build a tower or even a wall, because everybody has his own idea of how it should be done. So how do you have a meeting in the mind? That the people, despite their dispositions, their sensitivities, whatever it may be, yet they could come to a consensus and they could agree. He says, and the common interest would be utterly neglected. That despite their difference, and the differences are great differences, nevertheless, they're able to come to an understanding. It's in their very best interest to be able to work together. Okay? And they're able to accept or suppress their egos, because really it's all an ego issue. I have my way, you have your way. But if I recognize that your way is better, or let's say, for whatever reason they chose a certain person to be the leader. The person says, you know something, I'm willing to go along with this. I'm willing to go along with this. Even if you know better, it doesn't make a difference. Because a person is able to recognize, ultimately, although we're different, but it's now our best interest to work together. So there's a certain suppression of ego. A person is totally ego. Despite ego, nevertheless, we agree to work together. Why? Because for the common interest of all, so what is that? That becomes an overriding factor. Even though what drives a person is ego. So you'd say, you know something, I'm not going to let it go. Then you're a fool. So the blessing to mankind is that despite ego, a person is able to overcome that and recognize the common interest and does what he does in the best of all. I mean, we speak about, what's a team player? On a team, some people are not team players. They can't. As capable, as gifted as they are, if you're not a team player, you can't be part of the team. right? Because it's a team's playing. It's not your playing. No, in sports, you have a team play. If a person's not a team player, can't be on the team, regardless of what he is. See, that's the difference between golf and all the other sports. Golf, you're an individualist. Sometimes you have the royalty, you know what I mean? Okay? Who's the team? Okay, so it's his family. Okay, so a person usually sees his family as himself. Okay? Okay. You said he's young. Okay. No, not necessarily. People do things, you know, there's the expression, people cut off their noses to spite their face. I understand that, but that itself, if ego would take over a person, he would not act responsibly. So God, despite that, gives a person a sense of being responsible. Despite all that, a person is able maybe to utilize ego in that context to see what's in the common best interest of everybody. Not even survival, or to go forward. As he said, you couldn't build a wall or a tower. Everybody has his own idea. So there has to be a meeting of the minds. But whatever it is. Well, years ago, there was a shams in Fifth Avenue synagogue. His name was David Finkelstein, So he used to say, if people would run their businesses the way they do shul business, the businesses wouldn't exist. They'd never succeed. Understand? When they run their businesses fully responsible, they listen, they're responsible, they act as they should act. Comes to shul, his words are, they leave their brains at home. That's what he used to speak. And that's why very often shul politics is disastrous for that reason. Yeah, exactly. Okay, to be continued.